Okay, good morning everyone. We are at our new land here. It's about 7 rai, and you can see in the background here to the trees. So I'm standing at the end of the property. I am facing south, which means that's the north side, basically the north side of the property. And beyond the trees is the mountain. So we have the property that is adjacent, the opposite side of the little road. Right now it's a dirt road. And we have the 7 rai. So what we're doing today is, it's the first time my wife and I have come out to look at the property. It's actually been purchased. We purchased it already. We saw it on Google Maps and Google Earth, and her family came out to see it. And so we decided to come out during Christmas. Right now is December 24th, 2021. And so we're just coming out to check out the property. And as you can kind of see behind me, it is an old, I think it's watermelon has been planted, and then some other things as well. I'm not sure what they are. So what we're going to do today is, I guess the surveyors are coming out to mark the land specifically, so that we know exactly what is our land. So we will update you throughout the day, and you can see a little future YouTuber in the background there. He wants to be a YouTuber, so we might get him on the camera here in a little bit. Okay, so a couple things to note is that there are some really big trees at the edge of the property here. This is the edge here, and that means the water supply there is quite good. And there is a little canal that runs through there, and I'm told that that's part of our property as well. I'm assuming that some of these really big trees, I think they're on the other edge of the canal, which is fine, no big deal. So that is part of our property as well, all the way out. And it's basically like a larger rectangle on the lower end here. So there's 2 rai, which is kind of from the hedgerow at the roadway to kind of the edge, to the first edge that you can see there. That's about 2 rai. And then there's another 5 rai. And it looks like, I've been told that, my wife said that the people next door, they own their land, but they are renting this land. So all that is theirs right now. And we're going to tell them that we purchased it. Now, my wife says that they're no longer allowed to use it. For me, I said, well, why don't we just rent it to them until we decide what we want to do on the property. So we will see. I think they have, sounds like about 3 kids. I think I saw 3 kids running around there, which is not a bad deal, because we do plan to make this more of a farm that's our own personal space, but then also maybe like a learning by doing, or a farm school sort of setup, maybe online if we can, depending on the Wi-Fi here, if we're able to get strong Wi-Fi. So here is the property, and it goes down beyond the grass there. Not quite sure how far. So again, today the surveyors are going to come and show us exactly what is ours. Okay, so here on the land, as I said, it used to be watermelon, but if you look at this, it's mostly sand, which I know we're close to the mountain here. It's sand, and over there on the area of the canal area, the old canal, it's like a lot of clay. So I'm curious what type of sand or what type of soil this is on the geological index. So that'll be something that we'll have to check out as well. Looks like these flowers are growing quite well, and you can see they kind of run throughout the this lower part, this fiber eye, that's the lower part of the farm.
Okay.
Yes? Hello!
Hello.
Put.
Poop.
Put.
Poop.
Speak.
Speak.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, the surveyors have made it. There's 3 of them. The one main guy and then the 2 workers. So, I think they're going to the end of the property here to see where is the property line. Okay, we've made it to the edge here. It looks like the edge of the property is the sugar cane. Looks like that's the end of the property here. So there's a lot of extra space down here, which is not surprising. That's where the edge of the property is where the grass goes all the way to the sugar cane. So we're thinking initially, this is the lowest place on our property. So we're thinking about putting a pond in the back area here. So if you can see adjacent to it is the neighbor, and they actually have some ponds as well. So again, it's the lowest part of the property, and that's what we're looking to do. So we'll see. I think they're gonna throw a line here. That would be helpful, at least initially, to see where the land is. So how's your experience right now?
Good.
So what have you got today?
Fun.
This is your style today. You got a machete and Singha lemon soda, right?
Not beer.
Not beer, of course. Manao soda. Tasty. Okay, for this part of the video, I'd like to give a little initial feedback as to what I felt when we went to the property for the first time. Of course, we saw it on Google Earth, we saw it on Google Maps, we did some analysis, and the family really liked it. They liked many things about it. For me personally, I know that there's a few things that it checked the box for, and I definitely appreciated that. First being that it was quiet. It's in the countryside, right? There's not a lot going on, and it's kind of a peaceful place. Also, secondly, is that most of the way to get there was smooth roads that are paved. Only the last probably like 2 minutes was a dirt road, including the road it's on. So of course over time, I'm sure that road can get paved as well. And also there was electricity going to the main road. As long as it was paved, electricity was going to it. So again, right now the property does not have electric or water. Does not have any amenities at all. So those are some things that we need to consider before we really start to develop it or to put a house on it or whatever. So those are some initial good qualities, as well as it's nearby the mountainside. And one of the very important things is when you're looking at land, especially throughout different parts of Thailand, is to make sure it's not a flooding area. Now this year we had a lot of flooding in the northern part of Thailand. In this area it did not flood at all. In fact, the mountain that I talked about earlier in the video, you can see it at the back of the property. You can actually see the mountainside. It's very beautiful. And on the other side of that mountain is the large dam and the reservoir for the water. So if anything, the flooding would happen if they released the water on that side, or on, I guess it would be the south west side of the mountain there. So those are some good qualities about the property as well. Some things I wish that were different was I felt like the property was fairly narrow. I think about, of course it was, it's 7.2 rai deep from the road, but it's not so wide, and I'd like for it to be wider, which it's also possible to buy the property that's next door. And that's actually something that I'll talk about later in the video, as well as a future opportunity. So I was hoping it'd be a little bit wider. And then I think just overall, I noticed the biggest trees were of course along the canal part, which to me is, it's not a problem, but you know, I would like to have some nice big trees maybe in the middle of the property so that we could take advantage of them more readily. So those are some negative things. Of course, we really liked it, and definitely when we're there, it was very peaceful. The family really likes it, and my wife and I, we talked about we want to kind of really focus on the front too, right in the front, put a house there in the future, maybe a knockdown house, do some like light farming, some like different sort of activities out there, and then the back part would be maybe about a one dry pond, as well as some area for farming for different types of trees and things. So overall, it was a good experience, and going and walking around with the surveyors as well. And you know, they were just basically doing the back part of the property because it's kind of the more irregular shape, and just helping us to see where exactly the property lines are. So after they were out there for maybe a couple hours. We were out there for, you know, a few hours as well. And then after that, we actually are going to return to the farm and to mark those posts a little more clearly. And you'll see that in the upcoming video as well.